Well, Gib, now it's now a matter of days away from not only a fight with Jake Paul, but a fight which sees you make your professional debut. I mean, just how excited are you for this fight and also making this debut?
I'm really excited right now. The training has been ramped up towards the end. I'm excited to stop training. I'm ready to just fight. I'm ready to fight.
You were just saying the training difference out in the US is massive. You've gone from a few hours a day to 24/7.
It's 24/7, there's no rest. They don't give me a break. But Dal and Leon, they're on me constantly, and I got a solid team over here in America training Bones Adams, so the training is definitely different to my last fight, 100%.
What's been the biggest change in your training, the thing you've noticed as the hardest thing for making the transition to pro game?
The biggest difference? Well, the S&C is normal. It's just the quality of sparring opponents that I've got ahead of me. So I'm sparring professionals all the time, so the levels are completely higher. I think that's the main difference. Yeah, that's 100% the main difference.
And I'm right in saying that your sparring partners have been all professional, right, up to this stage? Like they've been a lot heavier than you, is that right? How have you found the sort of heavier weights?
Heavier weights? It's fucking difficult. It's difficult. Of course it's difficult, but that's what it's about. It's not meant to be easy. If it was easy and I went into the fight and it was just, and I'm surprised on the day, that would be a problem. So it's meant to be difficult. This whole challenge is meant to be difficult. This definitely was not easy. It's probably one of the hardest challenges I've ever done. But that's what's needed. That is what's needed.
You're meeting Jake at a heavier weight than what you're normally comfortable at. How are you feeling at the moment in that?
This is my weight all the time. This is my weight all the time. I like my food. This time I get to eat what I want. We got a chef that cooks my food, which is brilliant. But yeah, this is a weight that I'm definitely comfortable at. This is a weight that I set at most of the time.
You said that one of the main things that you've got in your characteristic is you're very aggressive. Your aggression is like really high. I mean, how would you describe your style now that you've kind of been sharpened by Vidal and the team?
One difference. Calculated aggression. That's the difference.
You're no stranger to arena fights. You're on the Joe Weller fight. You're on the first Logan Paul KSI fight. Going into enemy territory, I guess, into the US, is that intimidating or is it just something off your back?
That's no problem for me. That is no problem for me. In fact, it's actually quite exciting. I get a fight in Miami on Super Bowl week. Yeah, so in fact, that's quite exciting. It's leveled up. Every time I've fought, the event's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's quite exciting. I'm in the States. I can't complain.
Just on that as well, how did you reflect on the LA press conference, the launch press conference? I mean, going into a room, you've got quite a small team with you, but going into a room where you're full of Jake's mates and influencers, did you find that quite intimidating, them kind of calling you out?
I think they tried to make it intimidating. Whenever I met them and I was doing my interviews, they try to press me. They don't intimidate me. Of course they don't intimidate me. I think maybe doing the stage stuff for the first time, maybe. It's my first ever press conference. It was something new. But at the end of the day, we're getting to this fight, so all of that it doesn't matter.
There's a lot of back and forth on social media between the pair of you, right?
Yeah.
Jake's kind of put some weird stuff on Twitter, but you've said that this isn't really personal.
Yeah.
So what's the main drive for you in this fight?
What is the main drive? The main drive for me, because originally there was a small pool of YouTubers that can actually box, and then DAZN and Matchroom saw the potential of KSI and Logan. They took it, and it made sense to fight someone else, another YouTuber, because I've already had 2 bouts under my what? I've had 2 bouts to myself. Yeah, so I've had 2 bouts. Jake's had a bout, and he's got this belt. Before it was professional, I wanted to call him out to try and win the WBC amateur belt that he was carrying around. Now it's a professional fight. I still want it. So that's kind of the motivation. I want to take that belt for them.
There's been a lot of talk as well about Jake, wanting to continue a career in boxing, carry on program, target KSI, but it's been quite quiet about your kind of long-term goals in terms of what you want to achieve from the sport. Do you see more pro fights after this?
There could be, but right now I don't want to look ahead of Jake. And right now I just want to focus on Jake, because when you focus, right now I don't think he's been zoning in onto this fight. He really wants the fight with KSI. He's trying to strive for that because his career's kind of fallen off track. He's been promising these big fights with Chris Brown and all these other big celebrity names, but he wants that KSI fight. I can respect that, but I want Jake. That's the problem. I want Jake, and we're going to meet 30th of Jan.
When you started off in kind of content creation, becoming an influencer, did you ever anticipate that, getting into boxing is kind of a total tangent, isn't it? But did you imagine it getting this big?
Of course not. Even when I did my first fight, I didn't picture it. When I had my first fight with Max Plays FIFA, didn't think of it at all. It was just, I was actually quite out of shape at the time. And then from moving on from Max, first amateur fight, moving on to fighting Jay Swingler, and now to make my professional debut versus Jake Paul, that's big level up, big level up.
You guys are the best barometers, I guess, of how much these sort of fights are changing the community. Do you think that these sort of fights genuinely are getting young people into boxing that weren't there before?
Of course. There's a lot of it, because even for myself, even for me, I was a obese gamer. And now from moving on to that to now becoming a professional boxer is a big leap. And I think most of my fans that watch me probably get inspiration from that, 100%.
With your fight being placed in, well, one of the best cards we've got of the last couple of years, really. How do you feel about being placed in between, you know, 3 World Championship fights? Do you feel like there's any sort of pressure to deliver, like, you know, a really good performance?
For me, I'm just picturing on my fight. It's an honor to be amongst those names. But for me, I'm just focusing on my fight. Like, they're probably not focusing on my fight either, just like I'm not focusing on theirs. I'm just focusing on what's ahead. You
said about the fight itself, you said that Jake's not likely to gas. He's not likely to kind of run out of steam. I guess you've got to go for the knockout.
He's getting stopped. He's getting stopped round 3 or 4, 100%.
Is that something have you kind of adapted your training to go for that?
Just made sure that with my aggression, I've made sure it's more calculated. Just worked on a few things. Right now, it's just mastering the fundamentals. There's no flashiness. There's no going outside of my parameters. It's mastering the fundamentals.
Just finally, have you got a message for Jake and his team?
Can't play about, lad. Come on, Jakey. That's it.